Good Wednesday afternoon to you. Roger Hill of Wuthering Heights, VELCO Weather Hazards Forecaster. This weather video is driven by 802cars.com, representing 802 Toyota, Twin Cities, THRU 802 Honda, all located off of exit 7 on Interstate 89. Looking at the big picture here, big heat is kind of being displaced now across the Central Rockies. We have this cooler weather that's associated with an air mass that came in from Canada that has dropped in, and that is now an area of higher pressure that's going to be working off the coast and be the main controller of our weather for the next 3 days. We're looking at warming temperatures and conditions that will eventually lead to some precipitation chances, mainly shower and thunderstorm activity, mostly across the northern border areas. That'll take place, it looks like, by the time we hit Saturday and into Sunday and then beyond. The real hot weather has been down in the parts of southern Gulf coastal region and beginning to hook back and southerly flow into the plains, and this is going to be coming at us, and we're going to start to feel that, but not until basically this weekend. Dew point temperatures are also very, very comfortable across the region, with temperatures basically in the 40s, even a few 30s, and those dew point temperatures across all of Canada. Now off to our south and then our west, streaming further north through the plains, higher dew point temperatures will be advecting into the region, and this will raise that moisture level, but not until we get into about Saturday. So we're looking at this area of higher pressure across the Ohio Valley and Middle Atlantic states nosing on in, and this is going to be working its way off the coast. This is valid a little bit later on this evening, and you can see this 1031 hectopascal high pressure system, 1028 hectopascal, over Virginia, and these high pressure centers will kind of try to hold ground through the rest of the work week, and it's not until this weekend that things begin to collapse just a little bit. We're roughly in the morning hours on Friday here. You can see a little bit of precipitation trying to make a run toward the coastal regions of eastern New England, and then we have this main frontal boundary, which is going to be the main affair, with a wave of low pressure along that frontal boundary working its way north and east. And this does arrive into the region once we get into Saturday. It's kind of the lead wave. And then this area of higher pressure then reinforces itself, or exerts a little bit more inertia here and ridges back into the southeast states. And that kind of pushes that front a little bit to the north. Meanwhile, we have this feed of tropical and deep humidity and high dew point temperatures that's going to advect with this moisture interacting with this frontal system, so it'll be just a little bit to the north. This is valid about 21Z Sunday. That'd be about 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and it looks like the way things are setting up, we're going to see this frontal boundary kind of right across this particular area, almost quasi-stationary for some many days to come. And you can see here we're into beyond the period now into Tuesday, and even into Wednesday and the 1st of July, getting into Wednesday night and into the day on Thursday. So this feature, this Bermuda high, is really going to be the influence on our weather, with that flow coming in out of the south-southwest. This is 850 hectopascal temperature aloft, top about the top of Mount Mansfield, and what we're looking at is heat indices, and there's going to be quite the heat index here that's building across the Pacific Northwest, parts of western Canada. It's up in Alaska, coming in off the Pacific, and oddly from the Gulf of Alaska, as there's a series of Pacific waves that are working into the region. That's pushing up this big ridge of higher pressure and making for what will be a big heat dome a little bit later on. Meanwhile, back in our neck of the woods, we see colder than normal weather. This is our last part of the last warm spell that we just had. And running the model here during the day, you can see that we start to see less and less of that coolness and a little bit more above normal anomaly temperatures, again at about approximately 4,500 feet elevation. And then this is the Bermuda high, or a semblance of it, that will continue to feed that warmer air, and we're still going to be above normal in temperature. Meanwhile, take a look back at the Pacific Northwest here. It's quite something. That is record stuff here. We're running way above normal temperature anomaly, and it's going to probably produce a whole series of record high temperatures for many days to come, eventually, as we get into basically this weekend, Sunday, and it looks like beyond that period, as you can kind of see how that works on out. Meanwhile, we're also into it here in around Vermont. This is valid at about 8 o'clock in the morning on Monday. We get into Monday night and Tuesday beyond our period. This continues to be a problem. This is a secondary little bit of warmth here, so we're not basically clear from that. It's going to be colder than normal in the southern areas, especially into Mexico, the Rockies, and so forth. There's no GFS ensemble available. This is the Weather Prediction Center 7-day QPF, and you can see here the red here is 2,500 of an inch over Vermont and southern areas. And as you head north and west, you find more precipitation expected, about half-inch mark here in the green, and then you're looking at 1 inch and so forth. And looks like the heaviest amounts are going to be up in the northern and western areas, and that's basically with that influx of moisture in that frontal system, which you just saw. So we are in the colder air. This is the climate reanalyzer at the University of Maine, and you can see how cold it is in the eastern half of North America, northern areas there. A lot of heat, northern Siberia, parts of northern Europe, Eurasia, and then back around into Alaska, the west coast and whatnot. And this is just beginning, and this is that first bit of warmth that's out in the Pacific that's going to be heading toward the Pacific Northwest and affecting those areas. 5-day meteorological output statistics. High temperatures are neutral to about 3 degrees above normal. About 3 days, take a look at this and you can kind of see that weighted maximum temperature for the next 5 days. And about 3 days later into the future, pretty serious stuff. And also we're going to warm up as well. Not a big deal for the tropics. We have one little wave that's going to try to make it toward the Lesser Antilles, about a 10% chance for a tropical cyclone to form. And we'll be watching a pretty good easterly wave come off West Africa, and this will be a Cape Verde system, and it looks like it does get its act together. But nothing in the next 5 days as it looks right now. This is that easterly wave. This is valid at next week on Wednesday, the 30th of June. So you can go on Weather Nerds and look at the European ensemble, and they have a really good depiction here of this wave that's going to be heading toward the Lesser Antilles, the Eastern Caribbean Basin. From there, it'll either take a southerly run, or maybe it'll go north and then up the coast and around the Bermuda High or Azores High, which is pretty far to the north right now. And that is indicated that we're probably going to see a pretty good westerly push. It could track into the Gulf of Mexico. We'll have to wait and see. This is a long ways out. And that's all for now. Roger Hill, Wuthering Heights. Thanks for watching.